Blacksmithing, Hammering Your Way Through the Business of Blacksmithing. Written by Arthur Livingston. Narrated by Nicholas Santaseer. Chapter 1. Hammering Out Forged Round Bars. Have you ever wondered about the process of hammering out something like forged round bars or other metal creations? Probably not. But these products are used every day in a myriad of essential ways and in a variety of industries. For example, chemical plants, sugar mills, offshore oil drillers, refineries, and pipelines are just a few of the innovative industries that use these metal products on a daily basis. Each company will require a variety of manufacturing methods, such as normalized annealed treatment and tempering and hardening treatments in their usage. Nowadays, presses and hammers are all computer-controlled machines, but it hasn't always been this way. Early processes were very antiquated and rustic. As far back as 4000 BC, iron and bronze were wrought on heated anvils to form a variety of weapons and tools. Blacksmiths in the 19th century were becoming more and more adept and skillful at creating many different products from a variety of metals. Steel became popular about then, and it was a huge success in every manufacturing process. Forged round bars descend directly from this process. Today, they are fashioned from an assortment of materials and are utilized in a variety of applications in venues like agriculture, mining, aerospace, and the automobile industry. These industries would not be able to function without the necessary use of forged round bars. Speaking of the automobile industry, the invention of the automobile really changed history for the good in so many ways. Parts and components were required that had to be invented and created from metal. In the early days of the automobile, all of these parts were hammered out and created by hand. Then, in 1930, an American company invented the first metal press machine. This allowed the automobile manufacturers to turn out cars at an increased production rate. Less skill was needed to produce these parts as well. Today, forged round bars are employed for pumps, valves, casting dies, centrifuges, compressors, generators, and heat exchangers. There just seems to be no end to industries that can take advantage of these metal marvels. These metal products are exported to many foreign countries and are found in almost every industry in America. They are designed in a variety of finishes, dimensions, and sizes to meet every need of the client. Only the best quality raw materials are used in their production, and the most up-to-date technological techniques are employed. Since there is such a high demand worldwide for these items, the stainless steel products also are quite competitive in pricing. Needless to say, forged round bars and other metal products have come a long way since the early days of tool and weapon making. And it's a good thing they have, because the world has truly become dependent upon products like this to make it successfully go round every single day. Chapter 2. Turning your projects into a business. What constitutes a blacksmith project? The answer is that just about everything a blacksmith makes is a project. A hobbyist or amateur blacksmith's project can consist of anything from making simple nails to small tools for use in the house, or decorative items such as metal coasters or candle stands. The forge shop will produce commissioned forged metal objects that can range from doorknobs to hat stands to iron gates, decorative grills, and architectural fittings. A large commercial or industrial-sized forge shop will produce machine and automobile parts, oil drilling equipment, aircraft and jet engine components, and a vast range of other items. The blacksmith artist will use his blacksmithing skills to produce works of art or decorative items that can range from small decorative pieces to architectural embellishments or busts and large outdoor sculptures. All of these qualify as blacksmith projects, but what does the blacksmith have to know and do to execute them? It's not as simple as getting an idea in the head and turning it into a finished piece of metal. Here is just a partial list of what the blacksmith needs to know to be able to execute a project successfully. Of course, he must be an expert at the art for forging and shaping metal. He must be a manager who can manage and maintain his forging shop not just in terms of operational efficiency, but also in terms of safety and profitability. While the profitability aspect does not directly apply to the amateur blacksmith, understanding the economics of the trade will ensure that the hobby does not involve more expenditure than it should. He must know what equipment he should keep available and which kinds of projects he can undertake with the materials he has. If a project requires the procurement of additional equipment, he must be able to judge the cost-effectiveness of the purchase and the long-term utilization of the equipment. He must be a materials manager and ensure that all the fuel he needs for the forge and metal he has to work with are available when he needs them. He must be able to provide estimate of cost, time, and materials for any projects he undertakes, with the knowledge that his reputation depends on his being able to meet these commitments. He must be able to perform the basic maintenance of his equipment himself, and also know when to call in experts for repairs that are beyond his abilities. He needs to be able to sketch and, if necessary, prepare detailed drawings of the project he is planning to undertake to ensure that the finished work meets the required specifications. A blacksmith needs to be a good record keeper and have details of all the projects he has done, either in a digital or hard copy form. This is required not only for accounting and audit purposes, but also to provide a prospective client with an assurance that the blacksmith will be able to undertake the proposed work. These are just a few examples of the things a blacksmith needs to be aware of, and do, to enable him to execute projects successfully. The completed project is just the tail end of a long and complicated process. Chapter 3. Blacksmith Plans. To be able to produce a finished work that is either to a commission specifications or which is sellable, the blacksmith needs to be more than just an expert metalworker. Of course, his skills are important when it comes to the quality and value of the finished product, but to be able to work to his best ability and be sure that he is making a profit on the project, the blacksmith needs to be able to plan his work and expenses. If the blacksmith is producing projects for sale, he needs to know the market rates for equivalent goods, ensure that he can match these rates while making a profit for himself, plan on what will make his product unique so that it stands out and attracts customers. It is the second of these issues that is the most complex and requires a certain amount of both technical and business knowledge. What is given below in regard to blacksmith plans for commission projects will also apply in this case. Commission projects are much more complex and require careful planning before they are quoted for and executed. Before undertaking any commissioned project, the blacksmith should ensure that he has planned for taking care of the following issues. Study the project carefully. The devil is always in the details. A slight misreading of the metal specifications or the dimensions will not only cause you to offer a wrong quote, but, if the quote is accepted, cause the final product, on which you have spent so much time, effort, and money, to be rejected. Understand the material costs, and if it is a long-term project, build in a raw material price escalation clause into your quotation. Many clients may resist this, but you can tell them that you will show proof of escalation, if any, and this will not be added to your profits. Estimate the time you will require for the project. Your time is valuable, and every hour spent on the project which is not charged for is a loss. You could have done something profitable in that period. At the same time, remember that you are quoting against competition, so keep the time frames as tight as possible. Plan around your other work and projects, adjusting them if needed and if possible, to ensure that you are able to meet the deadline you have offered or the client has demanded. If the project involves any work that you cannot do yourself but have to subcontract, ensure that your planning includes both the cost and time required for the subcontracted work. Depending on the type of project, make detailed drawings or diagrams and have these approved by the client so that there is no misunderstanding of what the finished product will be or will look like. Prepare your own time chart for completing the project with stage-wise milestones so you are able to ensure that your work is progressing on schedule. Marketing your business. The survival of any small business is dependent on efficient marketing and promotional efforts. It might be important for any solution to become advertised to make sure that it produces a brand name recall between clients. Devoid of promoting, it is challenging and difficult to create adequate revenue to maintain the company's operation. Firms advertise their solutions largely to generate income. Income covers the expenses incurred in operating a company. Without possessing profits, there can be little to no business. You will find a few modes of promoting your business and must choose the right one. POP shows or position of purchase shows are a strong, reduced expense technique of promoting. Pop shows are brightly lit display boards which are frequently set up in retail stores. They have been popular since man started out marketing items. Even blacksmiths used pop marketing to advise potential clients of their services. These days, with technological advancements, samples are often replaced with picturesque depictions of items. Pop shows play a large part in the purchasing decisions of purchasers, as they lure them into obtaining one particular item, and often many more impulsive purchases. Pop shows are appealing ads for any array of products in any retail shop. These shows are regarded as very useful resources in promoting and endorsing. They're identified to enhance a company's income. Promoting firms usually use pop for shows as just one component of the promoting and marketing mix. This produces an influence for the buyer's thoughts and typically convinces them to buy a solution. Staged shell-out for shows arrive in a range of types. They might be uncomplicated backlit signboards promoting a product or maybe a showcase, with brand name names described. Others are glossy and artistically developed, endorsing unique lifestyle products. Pop shows are a depiction of the company and the company's products. Inside any marketing event, you are attempting to enhance the earnings margin of one's organization, so you really ought to give severe consideration to this powerful device. Chapter 4. Etsy, Facebook Interaction, and Ads, YouTube Videos. You registered and open your Etsy shop online and advertise your goods, jewelries, gold, and metals, and so on. Do you sell your handmade crafts in an Etsy shop? Are you frustrated and overwhelmed trying to get more traffic? How can you get people to your little shop when there are thousands of others on Etsy vying for position? And with the recent changes at Etsy, the floodgates of sellers has opened, making it even harder to get noticed. Well, you're not alone. Here are a few marketing techniques that you use regularly to advertise your blacksmith products. 1. Social media. Duh, right? Of course, we all know about social media marketing, but are you doing it right? It's really a fine balance of providing your followers with useful information, peppered with the occasional ad from you. Keep in mind, if all you tweet or post about are your sales, you will very quickly lose your followers. Instead, try a ratio of 5 to 1. 5 great, informative, or entertaining articles to 1 of your advertisements. Which sites are best? Good question. The big 3 are Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, but Pinterest is quickly coming to the forefront. Try marketing on 3 sites and see how it goes. You can always add more later. 2. Newsletter. Remember that email list of customers you've been carefully cultivating? You've been cultivating your email list, right? Well, past, happy customers are your best friend. You've already sold them, so they're more likely to come back for more of your crafty widgets. Make your Etsy customers feel special by offering them something exclusive, like free shipping or a free gift with purchase. And if you don't have an email list yet, get on it. 3. Beef up your shop. Another duh, but seriously, it's amazing how many sellers don't bother to list their items correctly. That means keywords in your headline, but make sure it doesn't sound fake. Awesome photos, it's the biggest selling tool you have. Thoughtful tags, how would you search for your items? 4. Get involved. Etsy has a very active community. Join teams, engage in discussions, ask questions. Also favorite other shops and do some treasuries. All of these things bring attention to your shop. 5. Post daily. It's better to list 1 thing every day than to list 7 things at once. Listing daily keeps your shop closer to the top in searches. 6. Market to groups. Facebook and Yahoo both have special interest groups. Find some that allow occasional marketing of your Etsy items. 7. Craftory. Have you heard of it? Craftory.com is a site where you can post your items for sale. They have free and premium listings. The bonus is that Craftory will then tweet about your item. Double bang for your buck. If you are a crafter, Etsy can really help you get your craft business off the ground. Even if you already have a successful local craft market presence in your town, adding an online element by selling on an online marketplace like Etsy can take your craft business to the next level. By selling online through Etsy, you can access a national and international customer base. You can also interact with other sellers from all over the world and learn new crafting techniques and ideas. By putting yourself on Etsy, you move into a different level of blacksmith business, one that is growth-oriented and more in tune with online shopping and social opportunities and resources. Your business can only grow through exposure to the opportunities of an online marketplace like Etsy. There are 3 main ways that Etsy can help get your craft business off the ground. The first is that it makes your work visible and available to customers from all over the country and all over the world. As an example, my last 3 Etsy sales were to Russia, Greece, and Australia. It would be impossible to reach customers in these kinds of places without an online shop. Because Etsy is the most well-known and most international of all the online shops, it can do wonders for giving you access to these customers. Second, Etsy provides a community of other crafters and artists who are constantly sharing tips and solutions through the Etsy forums and inspiring one another through treasuries, little galleries of 12 items that members select and promote. Crafting can often be a solitary activity, so having this community of fellow crafters can push an artist to a new level of skill and professionalism. Third, Etsy provides a jumping-off point for the whole world of online marketing and social media marketing. By having a shop on Etsy, you can branch out into Facebook fan pages, Twitter, Flickr, a photo-sharing site, and the entire blogosphere. As an Etsy artist and shop owner, you have instant credibility to advertise, comment, and post contributions to online resources such as blogs and Facebook fan pages. As you go deeper into these online resources, more and more opportunities for marketing and exploring new avenues for crafting and promoting present themselves. These opportunities are much harder to find when you limit yourself to a brick-and-mortar market. Building an online craft business through Etsy can be hard at first, and can seem intimidating. New skills have to be mastered such as photography and writing ad copy. But online selling is worth the investment of time and energy. If you are just beginning, it will play a huge role in getting your craft business off the ground. If you are established, it will bring you a whole new market of potential customers and community of fellow artists. How do I sell on Etsy? Etsy is an online global craft market where individuals can list and sell products ranging from antiques to handmade goods. Sellers here can sell handmade products, vintage products that are more than 20 years old, and supplies for crafting. Limiting the type of products that can be sold on Etsy makes this website not only a great place to sell these specific types of products, but it also makes it easier on customers who want vintage or handmade goods to find what they are looking for. In order to be successful in this marketplace, you need to know how to market and sell your goods. No matter what you are selling, the first step is to set up an Etsy shop. If you have questions about what can and can't be sold, or have questions about setting up an Etsy shop, you can refer to the seller handbook on the site itself for information on making a shop, adding billing information, adjusting communication features, and more. Once you have your shop set up, you can start listing your products for sale. Make sure that you have nice, high-quality photos of your products that will make potential customers interested in your goods. Take close-ups and full shots of all products in a well-lit area so that customers can see exactly what the product is. High-quality photos will most likely result in more sales than photos that are out of focus, taken in poor light, or which don't show the complete product. You will also want to spend some time writing accurate and thoughtful descriptions of your products. Remember that customers who browse the website are looking for handmade or vintage items that have a story behind them. There are many unique products on Etsy, so to make your products stand out, you will need to use photos and descriptions to tell potential customers why they should buy your product over other similar products. A great photo and solid product description outlining specs about the product, how it was made, and how it can be used are crucial to converting potential customers into committed buyers. You can also utilize Etsy's keyword features in order to have your product show up in searches. Be sure to pick keywords that directly relate to your product and that make sense to your target audience. Include words that describe the product, the materials, and who would use the product. Words like industrial or rustic will be appealing to certain shoppers and drive them to your shop if your type of product matches their preferences. After you have set up your shop, listed your products, and added targeted keywords, you can begin marketing your products and shop on social media sites or through a blog. You can also run ads for your products on Etsy to get more traffic to your site. Be creative not only with your products, but with how you market them to your audience. This creativity will help you land more sales and create a loyal customer base on Etsy. Chapter 5. How to create and promote a shop on Etsy. Hello there. Welcome to the world of Etsy. For those unfamiliar, Etsy is an online merchant showcase where everything is either handmade, a supply for making something handmade, or vintage. It is a wonderfully eclectic group of people dedicated not only to their craft and your enjoyment of it, but to customer service. Through teaming and conversations, merchants support one another in the sale and promotion of their goods. Does this sound like you? Read on. I started beading a number of years ago, no exact number as a true lady never reveals her age, and quickly found that I could only decorate a tree with so many ornaments and myself with so much jewelry. At the encouragement of my friends and family, I went about selling at craft fairs and the major online auction site. I found that the fees greatly impacted my bottom line. I was able to sell a few items here and there, but nothing major. I kept telling myself that this effort was more about meeting people and clearing out some inventory than anything else. Then, one sleepless evening, I found Etsy. Please don't let me steer you wrong. I'm a newbie on Etsy, and have only made sales to coworkers from my Etsy site. However, I am so excited about the site that I want to share its possibilities with you. So, before you set up an Etsy account, here are a few items to consider. 1. Setting up a store is very easy. You can choose PayPal or direct payments through Etsy, or both. I highly recommend both, so set up your PayPal to accept payments. Free to set up, marginal fee for each sale you make. 2. Think of a catchy store name that hints at your offerings. 3. Set up a light box with a light background and get some great shots of your merchandise. 4. Write descriptions of yourself, your shop, and each item you are listing. Etsy recommends at least 7 items to start. 5. Look at other shops and Etsy policies to get examples of shop policies, return policies, shipping policies, coupon code policies, etc., and write your own. 6. Log on to Etsy.com and start a store with the above information. Each item costs 20 cents to list, and you will pay commission to Etsy on each sale. Please read these policies carefully. 7. Join some teams to help you through this process. Teams have great suggestions on marketing, pricing, taking great pictures, and any number of things you'll have questions about. There are local and global teams to participate in. Find some teams with interests or locations similar to yours to really harness the power of teams. 8. Look at all of Etsy's supports, blogs, and featured shop articles. Fantastic tips there. 9. Start small and grow. I started my store with 7 items, and I am up to 32. I have 3 shop sections now: beaded ornaments, quilting supplies, and custom embroidery. The sections are easy to set up, and Etsy is very user-friendly. 10. Use Facebook and Twitter to promote your site to friends and family. In all, I found Etsy to be an incredibly easy, fun experience. I can't wait to grow my little business, and I am confident that Etsy is the place to do it. How to successfully sell jewelry on Etsy. Many people jump into an Etsy shop without taking the time to learn how to be successful at it. Educate yourself on selling first. Do's and don'ts and the stork. First, take time before stocking your shop to read the do's and don'ts of Etsy, and review some of the Quit Your Day Job articles in the official Etsy blog, called The Stork. Not only will this prepare you for what to expect, but will give you advice and suggestions from peers on how to run your Etsy shop. Education of the Etsy universe is key. Once you're in, continually refer to The Stork and the forums for help. Stock your shop with good selection. Your shop should then be stocked with a good selection of items, ranging in price so that you may eventually find and target your market. Selling all higher-priced items at first may alienate your lower-priced customer base. At first, a good selection is key. Good, clear, close-up photos are key. Gorgeous photos will encourage customers to shop with you. Grainy photos, or photos that do not show detail in your work, will not sell your item. Good photographs can be had with even the oldest, cheapest cameras if you capture natural light and know how to zoom in. Practice makes perfect. Tags and keywords will make or break you. You can have the best priced, prettiest jewelry in the world, but if it's not properly tagged or categorized, no one will ever find it. Read up on how to properly tag your item and how to use all 14 tags. If you need help, search the web as many sellers discuss this. Join a team. Join a team on Etsy. Most are free and are based on either location or theme. You may wish to join a local team and or a jewelry-themed group. Teams band together to help promote each other's items, and in turn will obtain more exposure for your items. Be prepared to work to promote your Etsy shop outside of Etsy. Etsy gives you a low-cost platform to sell your wares with a free shop, charging only minimal listing and sales fees. However, the promotion and success of your shop is up to you. You must work hard outside Etsy. Other social media used for marketing your blacksmith product to friends and the world are not only Etsy, Facebook interaction and ads, YouTube videos. You can as well go up to Pinterest, eBay, and the likes. Chapter 6. Blacksmith in the World of Warcraft. Becoming a blacksmith in the World of Warcraft can be a great way to earn extra gold, provide a beneficial service to other players, as well as make your own armor. Getting a World of Warcraft blacksmith guide can be a great way to learn all the ins and outs and tricks of the trade, so to speak, of becoming a blacksmith in the World of Warcraft. This profession is one of the most rewarding, as well as hardest to level up. Below, I will go over a brief overview of the blacksmith in the World of Warcraft, as well as some tips and benefits. 1. Swords and armor. One of the biggest benefits of becoming a blacksmith is that you are able to create many high-level weapons and armor. In fantasy RPG games, and World of Warcraft in particular, having the best armor and weapons is vital. Whether you are PvPing, raiding, soloing, or grouping, you need to have high-quality gear to be able to perform at your highest potential. Blacksmiths are an incredibly useful class to be in, because they're able to supply the best weapons and armor. If you decide to become a blacksmith, you will find that you are never short of gold. 2. Rough and coarse stones. When first becoming a blacksmith in World of Warcraft, the two materials you will need in order to level up are rough and coarse stones. These can be easily obtained on your own by simply mining for them. You also find veins of copper and silver that can be used to level up your blacksmithing skill. An alternative would be to buy these materials on the market, but if you are just starting out and are short on gold, then mining them is a great way to get a head start. 3. Once you reach level 75, you can visit a trainer and have your apprentice blacksmithing status upgraded to that of journeyman. At this level, you'll be able to create much more advanced armor and weaponry that will be very in demand at the higher levels. This is where the money can really start to come in. After you reach level 90, you'll need to mine silver and tin to level up. 4. Once you get to level 150, you can revisit the trainer and upgrade your status from journeyman to expert blacksmith. Once you obtain this level, many special options will be open to you, and you'll be able to infuse many stats into your armor pieces, making them even more in demand. And finally, once you reach level 220, you can upgrade from expert blacksmith to artisan blacksmithing. Becoming a blacksmith is a lot of fun, and a great way to spend your time when you're not leveling up in dungeons or raiding. Creating a video course on blacksmithing. The job of a blacksmith involves heating metal with fire to forge, make repairs, and create welds. Approximately 2/3 of blacksmiths work in manufacturing, but if you are more artistically inclined, you can use your skills to create decorative railings and gates, furniture, and sculptures from metal. Becoming a blacksmith requires physical strength, but also obtaining the proper training and developing the necessary skills. Starting to become a blacksmith. Read books about the profession and art of blacksmithing. Blacksmithing is a skill that requires a good deal of knowledge to be able to perform, even to get started, and reading about it is the quickest and easiest way to start. Some books to start with include The New Edge of the Anvil by Jack Andrews and The Art of Blacksmithing by Alex Beeler. Take classes. Attend a community college or vocational school that specializes in blacksmithing to learn basic blacksmithing skills. Start by locating community colleges and vocational schools near you. Then take a look at what kind of classes they have that deal with metalworking. Begin with a class that teaches oxyacetylene, gas, welding, to learn how to light the torch, safely handle hot metal, handle the tanks, and what safety equipment to use while welding. Try to find classes that will teach you how to control heat in the forge, whether it is coal or gas-fired. Become familiar with the blacksmithing tools, such as an anvil, hammer, tongs, and punch. If you can't find any classes near you that deal with blacksmithing tools, look for online classes and purchase your own equipment. Experiment with using these tools. In these classes, you'll learn essential skills such as drawing out, brazing, cutting, riveting, and upsetting. Take more advanced metalwork classes. Learn more modern metalworking skills that are needed to become a well-rounded blacksmith. Do this by completing the beginner metalworking classes offered either at your local community college, a vocational school, or online, and then move on to whatever intermediate and advanced classes are offered. Learn about plasma cutting, such as the distance the electrode needs to be from the metal, the angle at which the electrode should be held, and what amperage should be used to cut various thicknesses of metal. Become skilled as a MIG, metal inert gas, and TIG, tungsten inert gas, welder. MIG welding requires a spool that is continuously fed and is useful for long pieces of metal. TIG welding requires a rod and is effective for welding aluminum. Arc welding might not be a part of classical blacksmithing, but being well-rounded in your metalworking skills is important if you want to make it a career. Start building your own blacksmithing setup. Whether you're looking to become a hobbyist or you want to eventually make blacksmithing a career, you're going to eventually need your own equipment. To get started practicing blacksmithing on your own, you'll need at minimum the following equipment. A forge. A forge allows you to heat your metal so that it can be manipulated. You can either make your own forge or buy one online. Tongs, clamps, and a vise. These allow you to hold your heated metal so that it can be worked with securely and safely. An anvil. This is what you'll rest your metal on when you hit it into shape. Hammers. These are what you'll hit the metal with. They come in all manners of shapes, sizes, all for different purposes. Safety equipment. Strong leather gloves, a heavy-duty apron, and a blacksmith mask will keep you safe when dealing with dangerously hot temperatures. Most of this equipment can be bought online. Just do some research first before making a purchase. Training at blacksmithing. Join ABANA, Artists Blacksmiths Association of North America. Look for an ABANA chapter near you, then look into how to join that particular chapter. Then consider attending ABANA meetings. You'll learn more about blacksmithing, meet other blacksmiths, and get a chance to become a part of the blacksmithing community. ABANA has both professional blacksmiths and hobbyists. Join an apprenticeship program where you'll be able to hone the necessary skills to become a blacksmith. Search online for blacksmithing apprenticeships and internships near you. The structure of these apprenticeships vary, but generally it involves being paired with a master blacksmith for one-on-one training and experience building. Some blacksmithing apprenticeship programs require qualification through a demonstration of basic blacksmithing skills, but many are designed for beginners with no blacksmithing experience. Further advance your skill by joining a journeyman program. By becoming a journeyman, you will work in the shop of a professional blacksmith. Here you can learn a variety of styles and possibly work with architects to design details for new and old construction. ABANA provides the means to join a journeyman program through their website. Here you can fill out their questionnaire and join their registry, where aspiring blacksmiths can match with professional blacksmiths looking for understudies. To join a journeyman program, you'll need to meet a minimum level of skill and competency with blacksmithing and metalworking in general. The skills a journeyman is expected to know are listed on ABANA's website and include things such as drawing out, heat treating, and basic metallurgy. Establish your own blacksmith shop. If you're more the self-starter type, you might want to give starting your own small blacksmithing business a shot. Once you've got the tools and the know-how, it becomes a matter of marketing and business skills. Most blacksmiths who make their own shop focus on artistic blacksmithing. Consider starting out by learning how to make custom metal art, like swords and sculptures, and start selling them through commerce websites like Etsy. The key to creating a successful self-start blacksmith shop is to slowly build a base of satisfied customers and make a name for yourself. There's a market out there for expertly handcrafted functional metal art. Finding your place in that market is your goal. Find a job as a commercial blacksmith. Manufacturers of many types of machines, transportation, and railings require the skills of blacksmiths. Like with many other niche industries, the key to getting your foot in the door is networking. Once you have the skills, the next step is meeting the right people, which goes back to joining blacksmith associations and affiliates and getting involved. One way into a commercial blacksmithing job is to start working for the professional blacksmith you learn from in a journeyman or apprenticeship program. Become a demonstrator of blacksmith techniques at living history museums or fairs. Apply for these positions directly or through blacksmithing guilds or chapters. These jobs may be hard to come by, but if you're in the right place at the right time, you can find them. These jobs involve demonstrating the art of blacksmithing to the public. Chapter 7. A Future in Blacksmithing? Setting up your own blacksmith shop isn't very difficult. Well, let's be honest, I haven't finished mine yet because I simply don't have the space. But acquiring the equipment and materials wasn't difficult. The basics of blacksmithing really haven't changed much in the last 1,000 years. The modern blacksmith has a basic setup that is fairly simple, straightforward, and not all that different from the medieval blacksmith. You need fire, air, water, anvil, hammer, and tongs. Sure, as with any other hobby or trade, there are plenty of extras like vices, power hammers, and belt sanders that make crafting easier and provide opportunity to embellish, but the basics are still very simple. Just about anything you need for blacksmithing is available new through sites like Centaur Forge, and even some of it on Amazon. But another option is buying vintage blacksmith tools. You can find these in antique shops and flea markets. Also, they are available on Craigslist and eBay. Of course, shipping an anvil through the mail is expensive. Certain things you will need will have to be bought local. Chapter 8. Ways to maximize the space in your shop. Considered as the first ever factory in the world, blacksmithing remains to be a very important industry today. Blacksmiths are responsible in producing well-crafted, functional metals. A blacksmith produces items that range from simple nails to small decorative pieces, to architectural embellishments, and even sculptures. Blacksmith shops differ in size and layout, and even complexities. Some may just have the basic furnishings, while some shops may have modern or advanced equipment. Nevertheless, whatever the design of a blacksmith zone, the very basic equipment and functions are the same. Now, you might be interested to know what's inside a blacksmith shop. A blacksmith shop typically has these basic apparatus: the forge, bellows, a tool bench, and trough. The very most important part of a blacksmith zone is the forge. The forge is used to heat metals at very high temperatures. The process of heating metals is done to soften the metals for it to be shaped into some functional and useful objects. The most common type of forge is the coal-fed forge. Next to the forge is the bellows, which are air pumps that are used to force air into the forge. The bellows are especially necessary in increasing the rate of fire to produce temperature. In most modern blacksmith shops, however, electric fans are being substituted for bellows because its speed can be controlled. The tool bench contains the tools used in manipulating metal forms. The tools typically consist of different tongs to handle metals, and hammers to shape the metals. Also, the shop contains an anvil where the hot metals are pounded and hammered. Anvils usually come in different shapes, sizes, and even weights in order to produce the precise shape of the metals which the blacksmith wanted. The blacksmith shop also has the trough, which is used for quenching metals, and it contains water or oil to cool metals for easy handling. Blacksmithing is still a very important industry even in today's modern and mostly industrialized world. Almost everything now has parts made of expertly crafted metal. These objects are almost always made by blacksmiths, the people who turn raw metal into useful and functional objects. To do this, they must have a place to make and manipulate these metals. This blacksmith zone is their shop. The blacksmith shop is said to be the world's first factories, and it might have well been true, because during old times, most metal items were produced in just a handful of blacksmith shops. Today, the blacksmith trade has evolved, but still they retain their basic functions and apparatuses. The blacksmith shop usually contains the forge, the bellows, a tool bench, and a trough, among other things. The forge is probably the most important feature of the blacksmith zone. It is here that the metal is heated to very high temperatures so that it is soft enough to be shaped into useful items. In coal-fed forges, there's usually a coal hopper next to it, containing fuel. It is important to have the hopper near the forge so that it is ready if more fuel is needed to bring the heat to adequate levels. The bellows can be found near the forge. These are air pumps used to force air into the forge. With more air, it is possible to increase the rate of fire, and consequently, the temperature. In the olden days, the bellows were manually operated by the blacksmith or an assistant. Modern blacksmith shops have replaced these tiresome bellows with electric fans. These blowers give more precise control over the bellow because its speed can be controlled. It is connected to the forge by a series of pipes and ducts. Next to these is the tool bench. Here you can find the various tools that a blacksmith uses to manipulate metal. There are a variety of tongs here that the blacksmith would use to handle the metals. The hammers used to shape the metals are also found here. They may come in different sizes, and most of them have different purposes. Near the tool bench is the anvil. It is here that the hot metal is pounded and hammered into shape. A blacksmith may have many different sizes and shapes of anvils. They also come in different weights, so metals can be precisely shaped into any form that the blacksmith desires. After the metal has been shaped, it is usually too hot to be finished and detailed. That's where the quenching trough comes in. After the blacksmith is done shaping the metal, he usually immerses it into the quenching trough. The trough contains water or oil that cools the metal sufficiently to make it easier to handle. Chapter 9. Extra hard cutting tool materials. Ultra-hard materials are the result of modern research and development. The last century witnessed extraordinary growth in many fields of science and technology, including material science. The latest developments in science and technology resulted in the use of very hard materials in mechanical, automobile, and aviation fields. This in turn resulted in the development of new ultra-hard cutting materials to machine these parts. Beside carbide cutting tools, several other ultra-hard materials, like ceramic, polycrystalline diamond, PCD, monocrystalline diamond, MCD, natural diamond, diamond coatings on cutting tools, synthetic monocrystalline diamonds, as well as polycrystalline cubic boron nitride are developed. Polycrystalline diamond, PCD. Polycrystalline diamond plates are manufactured by high temperature and high pressure process, where the diamond coating is directly combined with a carbide support. Polycrystalline diamond is made by sintering of high-quality diamond powder with metallic binder. Depending upon the application, polycrystalline diamond materials are available in various grain sizes. For example, the diamond with rough grain sizes are used for making cutting tools with excellent wear resistance due to its ability to retain cutting edge for a longer period. In case you need very high surface finish on machines parts, then ultra-micro grain sizes are highly preferred. Medium grain sizes are used for general all-purpose cutting tools since it is a balance between high wear resistance of rough grain size and superior finish of ultra-micro grains. This makes the medium grain size polycrystalline diamond as an excellent ultra-hard material for manufacturing high-quality metal cutting tools. Natural diamonds. Monocrystalline diamond, MKD, is natural diamond out of pure carbon. These natural diamonds enable the production of geometric defined flutes with absolutely notch-free flutes. Natural diamond, MKD, is one of the ultra-hard materials which is suitable for achieving very high surface finishes for mirror-bright surfaces, machining of non-ferrous materials, micromachining, and machining of titanium without burr. Synthetic monocrystalline diamond. Further research and development resulted in synthetic monocrystalline diamonds, which are available in triangles and rectangles, with an edge length of approximately 8 mm. The natural diamonds often contain nitrogen, and it could have varying hardness and thermal conductivity, whereas the synthetic monocrystalline diamonds have uniform structure with constant thermal conductivity and less internal stress. Today, synthetic monocrystalline diamonds are being produced in various shapes and sizes, which offers great application possibilities of this ultra-hard material in future. Researchers have found considerable improvements in synthetic monocrystalline tool life, improved surface finish, and constant wear behavior compared to other ultra-hard materials like PCD and natural diamond. Diamond film coating, CVD process. Diamond film coatings are done to improve the surface hardness of cutting tools. Generally, diamond film coatings can be classified into two: the thin diamond film coating with a layer thickness of approximately 5 to 20 microns, and thick diamond film coating with a layer thickness of approximately 0.5 millimeters. Higher thermal and chemical stability and ultra-surface hardness are the advantages of diamond film coating. Low fracture toughness is the disadvantage of diamond film coatings. And compared to polycrystalline diamonds, no binder is used while producing diamond film coatings, which causes higher splintery fracture. Diamond film-coated ultra-hard materials are best suitable for machining of aluminum alloys with high silicium contents, as well as graphite and carbon. Tests show very good use of diamond-coated tools in machining plastics, gold alloys, and wood machining. Polycrystalline cubic boron nitride, CBN. Polycrystalline cubic boron nitride is the hardest cutting material after ultra-hard materials like ceramics and diamond. CNB is manufactured by a sinter process of high temperature and pressure using selected particles of cubic boron nitride. Depending on various cutting applications, polycrystalline cubic boron nitride are available with different binder phases as well as in fine, medium, and rough grain structure. CNB is an ultra-hard material with excellent thermal stability up to 1200 degrees. Polycrystalline cubic nitride with low CBN contents is mainly used in precision machining of hardened steel and other hard ferrous materials. Metal cutting tools. Metal cutting tools are made from tool steel, which refers to a range of alloy and carbon steels that have the right properties and are well suited to be made into metal cutting tools. The distinctive hardness of these steels, their ability to hold a cutting edge, and their resistance to deformation at high temperatures makes them ideal. Metal cutting tools are generally used in a heat-treated state. The tool steel used for metal cutting tools are made to a different number of grades, and choice of grade depends on whether a keen cutting edge is necessary. The higher grade carbon steels are typically used for applications such as stamping dies or metal cutting tools. Metal cutting tools are used widely in industry and are used for the cutting, shaping, and removal of unwanted metal. Cutting tools such as drill bits and reamers are used for cutting holes through various metals, while other metal cutting tools such as dies and taps are used to cut screw threads. There are many different types of metal cutting tools which are used for a wide variety of purposes, and some of the more common ones can include drill bits, grinding wheels, milling cutters / circular saws / slot drills, etc., laser cutting, reamers, broaches, dies and taps. Drilling is a rotary cutting operation for producing holes. The tool most widely used for this purpose is the twist drill. The twist drill has helical cutting edges, which when rotated and fed forward into the material under pressure, will cut away chips of the metal, which are removed from the hole by the helical flutes, which run along most of its length. Milling is another important process, in which the workpiece is shaped by means of a rotating cutter provided with a number of teeth or cutting edges. Usually the material is fed against the milling cutter, either longitudinal, transverse, or vertical. Milling machines are very versatile and can be used for a great variety of work, including screw thread cutting. In circular milling, the cutter and workpiece are rotated. In straight milling, the cutter rotates and the workpiece performs a straight bead motion. Grinding is the operation in which an abrasive wheel or disc is used to remove metal. It is generally employed as a finishing treatment to give already machined parts the necessary precision by the removal of excess metal. It is also used as a process in its own right, e.g., for roughly forged or cast parts, or for the shaping of hard materials. Grinding wheels are made from artificial abrasives, usually the aluminum oxide or the silicon carbide type, embedded in suitable bonding agents. Wheels are available in a vast number of different combinations of abrasive, grain size, type of bond, hardness of bond, and structure. Chisels. Chisels are useful for chipping off extra or unwanted pieces of metal. Chisels are used in the metal cutting industry for both cold or hot cutting processes. A cold chisel is used to hack off waste bits of metal. Cold chisels are used for a wide range of metal cutting tasks that include cutting rivets, thin metal sheets, square-shaped corners, and keyholes, among several others. Most models of cold chisels are burnt to a hard brown by using strong steel and flame tempering technology to improve its cutting ability. Diamond-shaped chisels are used to cut out sharp corners and narrow grooves in metals, while hot chisels, the chisel is heated to make it softer, can be used to help it cut through the metal. Round-headed chisels are used to cut indentations in metal surfaces. Chisels are particularly suited to chipping metals that are softer than themselves. Chisels must work in tandem with the right hammer. An oversized chisel will tend to absorb the blow from a lighter hammer and will be unable to do any useful cutting. Industrial shears. These are specially made from carbonated steel and can be used to cut through metals such as steel, stainless steel, as well as aluminum. Metal cutting shears typically resemble a pair of scissors and come in varying sizes. They can range from smaller, portable, manual models to huge, floor-mounted or bench-mounted versions. Bigger models of metal shears are operated pneumatically or electrically. Despite the use of advanced and automated machinery in the metal cutting industry, manual cutting tools continue to be an integral part of the metal cutting manufacturing process. 1. Hand shears. Hand shears are powered either electrically or pneumatically. They can cut even very tough steels. Operation manual will always come with your hand shear tool, so be sure to read them thoroughly before starting your operation. Hand shears are most often used to blank out sheet metal, which is the process to cut the general shape for the piece to be formed. You should get a professional-grade heavy-duty electric hand shear for high-speed cutting and trimming of metals. Some can cut up to 150 inches per minute on a number 14-gauge steel. The cutting head can swivel 360 degrees for straight, sideways, or angled cutting position. Electric hand shears can save you many hours of time, and they make very long and precise cuts, either curved or straight. 2. Snips. Snips look like scissors. However, they are very heavy-duty and are the most common cutting tools in sheet metal fabrication work. You will need at least 3 pairs of snips: left cutting, right cutting, and straight cutting. 3. Files. Files are used to smooth out the cut edge you make on metals. They are just used as often as any other hand tools in metal shops. There are so many types of files available, usually classified by shape, length, and cut. Chapter 10. What is D2 steel? D2 is vacuum heat treated, raised to a high temperature, and cooled by a vacuum process. D2 is often referred to as tool steel for its unique properties that make it an ideal material for manufacturing tooling and industrial knives. D2 is often used for punches and dies, shear blades, press brake tooling, granulator blades, dicers and rotors, recycling blades, as well as many other applications. D2 is considered high-carbon, high-chromium tool steel that is manufactured for high abrasive wear applications. D2 can be heat-treated to RC64. There are also several options for augmenting the finished tools or industrial knives for further wear resistance. One such process is to cryogenically treat the D2. By cryogenically treating the steel, the D2 is brought to a minus 400 degrees Fahrenheit. This will condense the molecular structure of the steel. Because of its properties, it is a difficult material to machine and requires a special wheel for surface grinding or sharpening after heat treatment. It is also very stable during the heat treating process, so you can manufacture thin parts and leave minimal material for finished grinding. The high chromium content gives this grade some similar properties to stainless steel, although it is not classified as a stainless steel and is magnetic, which is important for the grinding process. In the world of industrial knives, D2 is the ideal material in most cases. Granulator blades, recycling machine blades, shear blades, and slitters, to mention only a few, are mostly made with D2. D2 is used in the plastics, metalworking, paper, and recycling and rubber industries, and is specified for a wide range of machinery applications. D2 is ideal for the remanufacturing of new replacement blades for granulators, rotors, shears, slitters, paper knives, ice scrapers, as well as custom applications and one-off blades. When it comes to grinding, resurfacing, or sharpening D2, special abrasive wheels are used in machines that are designed to precisely grind and/or sharpen the D2 to very tight tolerances. Because of its hardening capability, D2 is ideal for the industrial knife world, as it can maintain a very sharp edge. Its hardness characteristics make the steel ideal for applications that require impact resistance. It is important that when looking for aftermarket knives, you consider the material and hardness to achieve the maximum life from your blades. Make sure you are dealing with a company that specializes in your specific applications. For over 2 decades, AccuGrind of New England has been a leader in industrial knives. Jewelry making tools, their proper usage. In making your own jewelry, the first things you want to prepare are your materials and tools. Many are still questioning what are those tools mostly needed in making jewelry, and how they can use it, or are they really important? Do they need all those tools in making jewelry? Well, sometimes it is very necessary to have all those tools ready. It is much better to be well equipped always. In this article, you will be taught about the tools in making jewelry and their proper usage. Starting to work with tools can be dangerous if you are not familiar with them, so finding some safety tips and jewelry making advice is important to do. Even learning a simple design like how to make a button bracelet will require some knowledge and safety guidelines to ensure you don't injure yourself. Pliers. This jewelry making tool comes with different shapes and sizes. These are the examples of pliers: long flat nose, long round/flat nose pliers, round nose pliers, split ring pliers, round/concave pliers, nylon jaws, flat nose pliers, and bead crimping pliers. Long flat nose. This kind of pliers is used to form, shape, gold, or straighten wire without damaging the metal itself. Long round flat nose/flat nose pliers. This is used to loop, bend, or coil wire or flat stock without damaging the metal. Round nose pliers. This kind of pliers have 2 conical jaws. This is used in making loops with beading wire or other materials. The loop size is determined by how far the jaws are made. If you want to make small loops, make it near the tip of this pliers. Otherwise, large loops are made near the hinge of the pliers. Split ring pliers. This is a special kind of pliers used to hold a split ring open for connecting other components to the ring. Simply insert the curved tip of the pliers into the ring side, and by squeezing the pliers handles, it opens split rings. In adding charms or beads to the ring, the curved tip securely holds the ring. Round/concave pliers. This kind of pliers is used to reshape ring shanks, and it is also used in bending or forming wire and flat stock. Nylon jaws, flat nose pliers. This kind of pliers have jaws that are made from nylon. The nylon is softer than the jewelry wire that cannot make scratch or mark the jewelry wire. This is frequently used in straightening wire and squeezing wire components to flatten and harden them. When straightening, the wire is pulled through the jaws of nylon jaw pliers. Bead crimping pliers. This is used in squeezing tubes and beads into smoothly round-shaped crimps without making unwanted sharp edges. Cutter. Example: end cutter, side cutter, and jewelry snipper. End cutter. The end of this cutter have jaws that are blunt with blades perpendicular to the handles. This is used in making sharp and clean cuts on wire. The blades at the end provide more cutting leverage. Side cutter. This kind of cutter have jaws that are pointed and angled. The angle is designed nearly parallel to the handles, so that the cut is made at the top side of the cutter. Jewelry snipper. The jaws of this cutter are pointed. This is commonly used for sheet, wire, and beading cord or string. Tweezers. This hand tool is used in picking up small objects like beads. It is also used in grasping and holding beads and bead stringing thread. Chapter 11. Metal railing. Almost every home has stairs of some kind. They may be stairs that lead to your front door, stairs that lead to your second story, or stairs that lead to your downstairs. The type of handrails you choose can accentuate whatever type of stairs you have in your home. Handrails. Handrails are a way to add elegance and creativity to your home if you use the right kind of handrails. Metal railings are a popular style of handrail, as well as wrought iron and wood. Although the main reason and purpose for handrails is safety, this does not mean that they can't be attractive and aesthetically appealing to you and your guests. Handrails are much more attractive and versatile than what was offered years ago. Today, we have choices of wood, iron, aluminum, and steel. You'll have so many choices that you won't know which one to get for your stairs. When handrails were first used years ago, the most common type was pieces of pipes that were mounted to the stairs, walls, or ramps. While they served their purpose for safety, they weren't very attractive. Today, we can have the combination of safety and beauty. Whether you're choosing handrails for your home or business, you have a large selection to choose from, including metal railings, exquisitely designed wooden railings, or wrought iron railings to name just a few of the most popular. Contractors and architects have knowledge, tools, and the sense of creativity to design some of the most beautiful handrails to complement their stairs and entire home. Considerations when choosing handrails. When you choose handrails for your home or business, appearance will probably be your first consideration, followed by safety, or vice versa. However, other things need to be considered, such as design, cost, maintenance, and local regulations. There are established codes that need to be considered regarding the Americans with Disabilities Act for stairs and ramps, particularly if you are in business. There are specific dimensions and heights which are recommended. Unlike days of the past when handrails were simple and plain, today you have the opportunity to choose from brass handrails, steel handrails, wood handrails, or glass handrails, and balustrades. The type of handrails you choose is a matter of personal preference, as well as your choice of balustrades, which are not available in lightweight materials as opposed to the concrete and stone ones of the past. Balcony railings are necessary, and we often do not think of them as something that could enhance the look of our house. But, just looking at the photos of old European houses, especially in London, you will see why decorative railings have kept their popularity throughout history. The most popular were wrought iron railings, and even today, they offer endless possibility for making your simple house stand out. How to choose decorative railing for your balcony. Such can be made of any material, and the choice will have to do with the architecture of your house, with your taste, and with your budget. When you think of changing the look of your house, think of such as an investment. Sometimes, very ornate railing will look great with a simple house line. Simple, modern railing, on the other hand, will not fit well with a Victorian or traditional house. The only exception is when the house has too many decorative elements already and cannot take one more. Wrought iron railings. Wrought iron railings have been the must in London houses for centuries. The design and color fashion changed through history. In the first half of the 19th century, all London railings were painted green to blend into a background of foliage. The same color was used for fences, gates, and garden furniture. In 1840, Humphrey Repton, famous English landscape designer, recommended a bronze finish, made by powdering copper dust. Following the death of Prince Albert in 1861, iron railings were painted black as a sign of mourning. The fashion, or a habit, continued to this day. The use of iron decorative railings. Iron decorative railings have a distinction that they can be made in any number of shapes and forms in order to fit a certain architecture or particular taste. Decorative railings for the outside balconies, windows, roof gardens, or stair railing can make a particularly striking addition to a house, even the simplest one, and give it the architectural distinction it completely lacked before. If your house has no balcony, add a few decorative railings below your upper story windows, and you will have immediate decorative elements. Flat roofs, even if they are not used, can benefit from a lovely decorative railing. Making a roof garden would not only provide a wonderful green space for your family, but would greatly increase the value of your house. Inside of the house can also use railings for stairs, landings, room dividers, spiral staircases, even as a decorative wall hanging. Although the aesthetic value of decorative railing cannot be doubted, the safety is their primary role, and it is important to learn the existing codes and follow them to the letter. Safety of your family always comes first. Jackets, tailored suits, and coats are some of the most exquisite kind of clothing, which is why it is important to properly care for these garments. Choosing good coat hangers is essential to preserving the quality, form, and integrity of merchandise on display. The first step in choosing the right kind of hangers is to be familiar with different garment types. Wooden types are best for supporting the heavy weight of suits and coats. Thickly molded plastic hangers are also an alternative in providing support to heavy garments. More than the weight, the dimensions of the garment should also be taken into account. The hanger should be wide enough to support the entire length of the shoulder line. Shorter-sized ones will cause garments to sag, and the sharp points caused by ones that are too long can create dimples along the shoulder length. The texture of certain garments should also be surveyed. Some textures cause clothing to slip off. Hangers covered in velvet or other padding can prove to be a stylish solution to this problem. For better presentation, coat hangers should be uniform in look. Using similar-looking varieties will be easier on the eyes and look more organized and orderly. The look of the hangers should also match the overall store decor. Upscale boutiques often use wooden varieties, while the same kind may seem unfitting at a discount store. Because coat hangers are bulkier and stockier, space and storage should also be considered before bulk purchasing. The thickness of the hangers should not only be able to support garments, but should also fit well into the allotted area for display. It would prove advantageous to stick to one trusted hanger supplier for stock. Sourcing regularly from one store makes purchasing simpler, may allow for discounts, and provides more uniformity in hangers. How to make coat hangers. One of the most fascinating crafts can often be technically best out of waste, and a coat hanger Christmas tree is just one of them. This small tree can be your ideal Christmas decoration without giving a hint of what it is made of. It is a rather simple design, where only the construction of the frame requires some tricks, and the rest follows. Therefore, once the frame is done, small kids under adult supervision, or grown-up kids, can complete the remaining portion. This style of tree also allows a lot of room for experimentation in terms of colors and decoration. Go through the following instructions to erect your Christmas tree. Material requirements. Coat hangers, preferably with rotational hooks. 3 in number if made of metal. 6 in number if made of plastic. Twist ties, craft wire, electrical tape, or strings. Glue. A pair of scissors. Garlands in sparkling green color or as per choice. Electrical lights. Ornaments, stars, cones, ribbons, etc. Toys or other decorations. Construction. The frame intended here will look like a tripod stand. Remember, a hanger resembles a triangle with 2 equal sides, and the hook is located at the angle formed by these sides. Step 1. If you have taken plastic hangers, make 3 pairs. Superimpose 2 hangers and tie or tape them to add strength. If you have metal hangers, skip this step. Step 2. Position a hanger or pair in such a way that one of the equal sides is towards the floor and the other one vertical. Step 3. Hold 2 of them similarly, joining firmly their vertical sides together at a small angle. Recall what any 2 sides of a tripod appear like. The alignment of the hooks will take care of itself. Rotational hooks are helpful in case any adjustment is needed here. Step 4. Join the 3rd hanger towards the larger angle formed by the 2 hangers in Step 3. For better balancing, all the 3 legs should have equal angles between them. Step 5. Place the structure upright. Step 6. Stick one end of the garland of your choice to the top of the frame. Step 7. Wrap it around and continue until the lowest point. Decoration. Step 1. Use standalone or string of Christmas lights around the tree in linear or hanging fashion. Step 2. Adorn your tree with twisted ribbon, ornaments, cones, candies, and other decorative items. This has been Blacksmithing, Hammering Your Way Through the Business of Blacksmithing, written by Arthur Livingston, narrated by Nicholas Santaseer. Copyright 2017 by Arthur Livingston. Production copyright 2017 by Arthur Livingston.